What I'm about to tell you is going to sound dramatic, but every single word is backed by meteorological data that's been screaming at us for the past 48 hours. Right now, this very second, ice is coating power lines across Pennsylvania, not a light glaze. We're talking a quarter-inch thick, heavy enough to snap those lines like they're made of paper. Trees are buckling under the weight. And this is just the opening act of what's about to become one of the most intense winter weather sequences we've seen in years. 3 separate storm systems are lined up like freight trains on the same track. Multiple Arctic blasts are going to drive temperatures so far below normal that your daytime highs, not overnight lows, but actual afternoon temperatures, will be stuck below zero in some locations. Negative numbers on the thermometer without even factoring in wind chill. Just raw, brutal cold that makes your lungs hurt when you breathe. But here's what's really keeping me up at night, and what nobody else seems to be emphasizing enough. This isn't just a string of bad weather days. This is a fundamental pattern shift. The atmospheric setup has completely reorganized itself, and what we're seeing now is just the beginning of a prolonged siege that could extend deep into January and possibly beyond. If you're not prepared within the next 6 hours, and I mean truly prepared, you might not get another opportunity before conditions deteriorate beyond the point where it's safe to go outside. I'm going to walk you through exactly what's coming, when it's going to hit your specific area, and the one critical action you absolutely must take before midnight tonight. No exaggeration, no hype, just the meteorological reality that's unfolding whether we like it or not. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. The first storm is already in motion. Right this moment, freezing rain is coating the Great Lakes region and advancing toward the northeast. We have active ice storm warnings in effect, which means forecasters are confident we'll see at least a quarter-inch of ice accumulation. When ice reaches that thickness, we're not talking about slippery sidewalks anymore. We're talking about trees coming down, power infrastructure failing, and entire neighborhoods losing electricity in the middle of winter. Everyone in that purple warning zone could see 1/10 of an inch minimum, enough to transform every road into a skating rink and cancel any plans you might have had. But there's more. Winter storm warnings blanket the Northeast for major snow accumulations of 5 to 10 inches, and that's just from the first system. What's stacking up behind it? Even heavier snow. Additional rounds of freezing rain, and wave after wave of Arctic air that's going to make you forget what comfortable temperatures feel like. Let me give you the precise timeline, broken down hour by hour, so you know exactly when to stay off the roads and which areas are facing the absolute worst conditions. The mixture is already falling as I'm recording this. Freezing rain shows up in pink on radar imagery, sleet appears in peach, and heavy snow comes through in blue. All of it is moving through this afternoon and evening. Pennsylvania is facing major travel problems right now. Western New York too. Central and western Pennsylvania are getting hit primarily with freezing rain, the most dangerous type because it coats everything it touches with a smooth layer of ice. Eastern Pennsylvania is dealing with more sleet in the mix, but either way, it's ice. Either way, roads become treacherous in minutes. The freezing rain creates a special problem that goes beyond just travel hazards. It sticks to power lines and weighs them down relentlessly. When enough accumulation builds up, those lines simply snap. Power outages will absolutely follow in the hardest hit areas, and utility companies know it. They're already pre-positioning crews and bringing in reinforcements from other regions, and they don't spend that kind of money unless they're expecting serious damage. Heavy snow starts ramping up around 4 this afternoon and continues straight through 9 or 10 tonight. Then the system shifts toward New England, bringing significant snow there as well. We're not talking about a dusting. This is major accumulating snow, and I need you to understand that this is only the first of multiple systems we're tracking. The overall weather pattern shows heavy snowfall stretching from the Cascades and Rockies all the way across to the Northeast, a massive swath of the country getting hammered simultaneously. Below that snow band, sleet is creating ice problems for New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. And just before that transition, freezing rain is coating everything. What makes this particularly concerning is the weather pattern arriving immediately behind this first storm. Sunday's high temperatures drop dramatically. Monday through Tuesday, even the afternoon highs stay frozen across huge sections of the country. We're entering a prolonged cold period, not a quick overnight freeze, but days of sustained below-freezing conditions that strain infrastructure and create serious safety concerns. Now, here's where the situation gets even more complex. The next storm system in the sequence is bringing severe weather right alongside the winter weather. Damaging winds, possible tornadoes. Yes, tornadoes in late December and early January. It sounds contradictory, but the dynamics are all there. As we move through Sunday, a very powerful storm system pivots from Iowa through Minnesota and Wisconsin, dragging heavy snow with it along with a mixture of sleet and freezing rain. But stronger storms develop over Illinois and push through Indiana and Michigan. This is where we start dealing with what meteorologists call a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system. That's essentially a line of organized thunderstorms capable of producing damaging winds and spinning up tornadoes quickly with little warning. Sunday evening from Arkansas and Missouri through Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan becomes particularly dangerous. Wisconsin gets storms too. But here's the absolutely bizarre twist that makes this so treacherous. Right before those severe thunderstorms arrive, you're dealing with snow and freezing rain. The system traverses the region all evening long with heavy freezing rain, substantial snow, and then it brings another round of freezing rain toward the Northeast and New England. This is that second wave I mentioned previously, the one that's going to deliver more freezing rain and snow to New England Sunday evening. That's why I'm planning an afternoon update before we head into the weekend, because conditions are going to be evolving rapidly, and people need current information. We could be looking at another ice storm across the Central Plains, North Central regions, maybe the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes, again next week. The National Weather Service ice and snow totals for the next 72 hours paint a concerning picture. From Pennsylvania to western New York, the heaviest ice accumulation is forecast just east of Pittsburgh. It's lighter over New England initially, but there's wintry mix coming for Michigan. The amount of ice possible for the Northeast and Pennsylvania is exactly why ice storm warnings are posted. Western New York faces it too, as does New England. For snow totals, northern Wisconsin into upper Michigan is getting hammered with major accumulations. Substantial snow heading into Canada. Northern Michigan could see several inches, but the Northeast is where totals really pile up. Eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Long Island, and New York are looking at the heaviest amounts, up to 8 inches possible for Connecticut, Massachusetts, and even some of Rhode Island. Southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire get some accumulation too, but New York gets absolutely crushed, all the way from Syracuse down to the city. This represents a tremendous amount of ice and snow, and I cannot stress this enough. This is only the first system. We have multiple coming through over the next week and beyond. Let's talk about the bigger atmospheric picture driving all of this, because understanding why helps you grasp how long this might persist. It comes down to the jet stream, that river of fast-moving air high in the atmosphere that typically flows west to east across North America. Right now, it's taken on an extremely wavy pattern with deep troughs and ridges. That waviness allows Arctic air to plunge deep into the United States instead of staying bottled up in Canada. Simultaneously, it creates favorable conditions for storm systems to develop and rapidly strengthen. When you combine true Arctic air with abundant moisture from the Gulf of Mexico or Atlantic Ocean, you get significant winter storms. This pattern can lock in place for extended periods, days or even weeks, when it's reinforced by blocking patterns in the Pacific and Atlantic. That's exactly what we're seeing now. The waves in the jet stream aren't smoothing out quickly. They're being actively reinforced, which means this pattern has staying power. Some winters are mild and quiet, others are active and stormy. This one is clearly shaping up to be active, and we need to deal with that reality through preparation. The ice storm potential we're facing, particularly for Pennsylvania and western New York, is genuinely significant. A quarter-inch of ice causes widespread problems. Trees cannot handle that weight, branches snap, whole trees come down, power lines fail under the load. Utility companies understand what's coming, which is why they're pre-positioning repair crews and bringing in reinforcements from other regions. That's actually good news because it means power restoration should be faster than it would be otherwise. But it also tells you how seriously the professionals are taking this threat. Companies don't spend money flying in crews from distant states for minor weather events. Let me break down what's most likely to affect you based on your specific location. Michigan, particularly the Thumb region and Upper Michigan, you're dealing with the first wave today and tonight. Freezing rain, sleet, heavy snow in northern areas. Travel is treacherous this evening. Sunday brings another round with the second system. Pennsylvania, you're in for a rough afternoon and evening today with freezing rain in western and central areas, heavy snow in the east. Power outages are highly likely. Monday and Tuesday temperatures will be dangerously cold even for your climate zone. Protect pipes, protect outdoor pets, and protect vulnerable people. No matter where you are, the core message remains the same. Take this seriously, prepare now, stay informed throughout the event, help others where you can, and above all, value life over convenience. No appointment, no job, no errand is worth risking your life on dangerous roads in dangerous conditions. I'll be providing continuous updates throughout this multi-day event. An afternoon update today on the current storm, updates this weekend as the second system approaches, and continuing coverage next week as additional systems move through. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications enabled so you don't miss critical, time-sensitive information. Share this with friends and family who need to know what's coming their way. Winter has returned with absolute vengeance. This represents a significant atmospheric pattern shift, but with proper preparation and appropriate caution, we'll navigate through it safely. Stay safe out there, make wise decisions, be prepared for whatever comes, and I'll see you in the next update as this major winter weather event continues to unfold across the country. We're going to keep tracking all of these systems closely, updating you as conditions evolve and new data comes in. The meteorological situation is fluid, and forecasts will continue to be refined as we get closer to each event, but the overall message is clear. Buckle up, because winter is about to show us what it's really capable of. Stay safe out there, stay warm, and keep watching for updates as this incredible pattern unfolds across North America. As das.